We welcome you to Blues Game Day Live alongside Joe Vitale, Darren Pang right here. We've just heard from head coach Craig Berube as the Blues get set to take on the Red Hot. These are two red hot teams, Joe. The Boston Bruins are in town for a 3 o'clock contest. Glad you're joining us here for this here because the game's about to start, Joe.
We better get moving.
But a couple of things that Craig Berube talked about as we go back to the last game against Dallas. So these will be areas that the Blues improve on in this game. He thought they were a little light in defending and in their lack of aggressiveness. And so when he says something like that, you know this team's going to come out and defend their net and get in front of Boston's net like you read about.
Yes, a couple nights ago in Dallas, when I was there, we were sitting around at morning skate, and you heard Jim Montgomery bring the whole group in. And in those rinks, when the fans aren't there, the voice kind of echoes. And he reiterated over and over to his team, we got to win the net front game. And that was a big focus for the Dallas Stars. Craig touched on it right there, just saying that we were out-battled in front. We were a little too soft in front of our net. If this team has shown one thing under Craig Berube, it's been response. And I think we're going to see a good response here tonight.
Yeah, they really have. It's the first little bit of adversity, too. I would have to think that it was coaches, the way that coaches are, because there's teaching moments and coaching moments. And I think, having the 11-game win streak snapped isn't a negative. I think it can push the Blues on to even another level of play.
I think so, too. And I think that, when you're on those streaks, and we've both been in a fair share of them in our career, but
no, you were on a 15-game win streak.
I was just trying to be nice.
I was not.
No. Anyway, the point is, you can kind of take a deep breath. Take a deep breath, and I think this team is going to take a deep breath. Now they can say, okay, let's just restart. But I like the 11-game streak for one reason and one reason only. I think that players can see what it looks like now. Everyone talks about playing aggressive, getting to the net, wall plays, simple hockey, finish your hits, and that all sounds good, and every coach wants to reiterate that to their team, and every team wants to do it. But unless you win and have a consistent winning effort behind that, you never know what that looks like or feels like. Well, the Blues know what it is like. They know what it feels like. Yes, they lost, but now they have to go back to that 11-game streak, what they did, know how they played and how the style that really brought to the wins, and then just carry it over from there.
Well, with that 11-game win streak, Craig Berube was really consistent with his line combinations. We don't know what the line combinations are going to be in this particular hockey game, but with a loss comes change. So I would anticipate that he just juggles up a couple of different areas. We know that Sammy Blais was recalled from the American Hockey League. He's never been afraid to throw him in there, maybe a little bit of energy. And again, we're not sure if he's going to be in the lineup or not. But with that, I think the attention to details increases, don't you?
I do, and I think that Sammy...
The video sessions?
Yes.
Everything?
Everything is going to get ratcheted up a little bit, and you're right about Sammy Blais, because Sammy's been coming up here, and Craig's shown that he trusts this kid. And I think when you're facing a Boston Bruins team that, one thing that jumps out at you is, yes, they're veterans, but yes, they play very fast. They're a speed game. Sammy Blais can get up and move, and he's going to be physical. He's going to be a wrecking ball out there. So I think they're going to look for him hopefully on that fourth line, if he gets in the lineup here tonight, to make a big difference here, because they're going to need him. I mean, this Boston Bruins team, as you know, Chara, Bergeron, they have a lot of leaders. I think they're led from within. All the years I played against them, the coaching change has been in and out, but they really have some just strong leaders, and there's a style of play they want to play, and all the players kind of follow line.
Speaking of leaders, we got a great matchup here this afternoon. It's a 3 o'clock Central start here, and we're talking about the Selke Award. We've talked an awful lot about Ryan O'Reilly. I don't think he needs our help. I think people around the league are talking enough about it, but it doesn't hurt. But why not go up against the 4-time Selke Award winner in Patrice Bergeron? Just a great, classy guy, a guy that plays the game the right way, and same with Ryan O'Reilly. I'm really looking forward to this matchup here.
It's going to be great. I mean, it starts in the face-off dot. Two guys that just pride themselves on winning face-offs so hard in that dot. I've taken face-off against them both. It's almost impossible to win on either of them. Patrice Bergeron, you mentioned 4 of them, and I don't think that's a stretch. I think he can win 5 or 6 before his career is over. I think he's just that good. I think he's so solid in the defensive side of games, and he just plays a really honest game. And I think that's something that Ryan O'Reilly just really reiterates too, just honest hockey. You don't see him do anything too dirty away from the play. He just plays good, solid defensive hockey, and two players that just understand that when you play good D hockey, it always somehow, I don't know how it happens, but the hockey guys just figure out how to get points out of just having good defensive zone hockey.
Very competitive guys. And they just can't stand losing. And let's focus in on both their wingers then. Brad Marchand, you've played against him enough, and you know that he's an energetic player. For a smaller player, he's great at protecting pucks, strong lower body, and so it's hard to get pucks off of his stick. Maybe it's harder now to rattle them than it was before, but let's take a look at those. So Bergeron's got he on the, because Pasternak is out, so he's got Marchand on the wing, and then Ryan O'Reilly's got the red hot Tarasenko on the wing. This is just a fun one to see the distribution from the centerman and see what both those wingers can do in this game.
It is, and I think it's going to be interesting to see right off the bat what Craig Berube, how he matches up these lines. You know, I would think Ryan O'Reilly would
O'Reilly
get
right
Bergeron,
against Bergeron.
but you also have Bozak in there that can kind of fill in and play good defensive hockey.
And Sundqvist.
So, I mean, it's really interesting. And I think it's going to start probably with the O'Reilly line to see how the game kind of develops. But it's going to be a great matchup. You mentioned Marchand, and he actually called me his pool boy for 4 years,
did,
which really hurt my feelings. But it's fine.
Did he say that while you were a player?
Yeah, it really hurt my feelings.
So that means you don't like cleaning pools, do you?
No, I want to play hockey.
You ever owned a pool?
Never. I don't even know how to do it.
Joe,
I mean, I've cleaned leaves out of like the skimmer.
Wait a second. Your parents have it's a cement business. Did you not tell them that?
Yeah, but I think they had someone clean it. I didn't actually clean it. But anyway.
Okay.
But no, he my point is he's a player that can kind of get under your skin a little bit. And
should I bring that up on between the benches for him?
Could,
Okay, I'll ask him that.
Can you give him a little shot for me? I'd appreciate it. You might lose your job.
I'm not big on that anyway.
And I love having you around here.
Thanks, buddy.
I don't know where we're going with that, but they're a good team.
Gives our fans insight on what happens and what kind of things get said out there.
He gets under your skin. And he does it really. And I think, but the maturity thing, I think players used to get under his skin, and they don't do that anymore. I think he spins off checks really well, and he just kind of skates away, and I think he's kind of matured a lot in that way. And Vladimir Tarasenko, I mean, just two elite wingers you're going to see. They're going to shoot a lot of pucks tonight. I think there's going to be a lot of perimeter shots, and I kind of expect a little bit of a feisty game here.
Me too.
I don't know why. I think with Craig Berube, his comments he said right there, and Boston always kind of brings that edge too.
Well, when Craig Berube walked into this room right behind us here, he had a business-like attitude. I mean, I love the guy. I love the job that he's done. We got two red-hot coaches here too. Bruce Cassidy. Last year was the finalist for the Jack Adams Award. Of course, it was overwhelmingly in favor of Gerard Gallant, but Bruce has put himself right back in that spot again, and so is Craig Berube. So I love these kind of games. It's going to be a standing room only contest. If you haven't got your tickets yet, come on down here. Get your tickets because it's going to be a fantastic game at Enterprise Center. Joe and Chris Kerber, they've got the call on KMOX. That's right now is Y98.
Nope, we're on KMOX today.
Okay, you got it, big boy.
Yep.
And that's
that blowtorch.
Yeah. That's at 2:30. I got to teach him how to do that a little bit better. That's a 2:30 pregame show. Same thing. We just saw Bernie Federko and Scott Warman, and so we'll have that on Fox Sports Midwest at 2:30. 3 o'clock is the puck drop, and it's going to be a beauty. It's the Boston Bruins. David Backes returns here to St. Louis, and it's the St. Louis Blues. They're going to start a new streak right here, big boy.
Let's do it.
You ready for it?
Starts this afternoon.
I thought you were solid today.
I thought you were great too.
Pool boy. Join us. Thanks for joining us, everybody. For Joe Vitale, I'm Darren Pang.